ask for Comey to come testify. At some point, do you need President Trump to come testify?
Well, I think we ought to ask the director to come in to testify. I think that ought to be the first step. We ought to ask if there are notes. Notes that are taken around the time of the conversation would be, I think, very powerful evidence of what took place during those conversations. And then I think we follow up from there. Clearly, obviously, if the president was being truthful in the threat to Director Comey that he had tapes or might have tapes, we're going to want to get a hold of those.
Republicans in scheduling a Comey hearing or requesting documents or tapes?
Mr. Conaway and I are working together very well, and I think that he has made every effort, we both are, to run the investigation in a completely nonpartisan fashion. The issues that have come up in connection with Mr. Comey are beyond merely the scope of the intelligence investigation and the Intelligence Committee. I think the Judiciary Committee, both in the House and Senate, also have a deep interest in this. And from my point of view, I'm not being proprietary about this. Of course, I'd love him to come before the Intelligence Committee. But either way, he needs to come back before the Congress and I think share with the public what conversations he had with the President that may bear on whether there was any effort to obstruct the investigation or impede it in any way.
Congressman, in the conversation between Comey and Trump, do you think the President has credibility to
Well, you know, I think the President has severely undermined his own credibility on anything pertaining to the Russian involvement in our election. With respect to the choice of the new director, I agree completely and wholeheartedly with Lindsey Graham. I think it ought to be a completely apolitical choice. I think the ideal candidate, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular, but I think the ideal profile of a candidate would be someone who is a retired judge or an active judge who's willing to step down from the bench, ideally that has prosecutorial experience in the past, but someone I think that is very consistent with the necessity of true independence in that role. So whether the President is credible on the subject or not, the Senate has an incredible responsibility of making sure that no one is confirmed for that job, that we can have absolute confidence will be fully independent. And I'll say this also about why that is so important. There are three primary investigations going on of the Russia issue, one in the House Intelligence Committee, one in the Senate Intelligence Committee, and of course that being done by the FBI. The FBI has far greater reach than any committee in Congress. They have agents around the world. They have resources we don't have. We can't recreate what the FBI can do, nor should we try. We have to run our own investigations, but we do have to make sure that the FBI does its work in a thorough way, in an impartial way, and without any impediment whatsoever.
Conway not out here with you, and are you getting cooperation from them?
Thank you.